President Trump's nominee for Education Secretary Linda McMahon set to appear on Capitol Hill for her confirmation hearing this week. She'll face senators on the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. That's a lot to put on the business card. McMahon is sure to face Democrat attacks over her qualifications for the role. Meantime, the future of the Department of Education is up in the air amid an effort to abolish it altogether. Missouri Congressman Bob Onder is a member of the House Committee on Education and Workforce, and he joins us now. Congressman, good to have you on the show today.
It's good to be with you.
So, Congressman, it seems to me that Linda McMahon's only job is to make sure she doesn't have a job by the end of the Trump administration. What say you?
Well, that would be terrific. You know, the Department of Education has existed since the Carter administration, and year after year, Republicans have talked about abolishing the Department of Education, going back to Ronald Reagan. We're finally getting serious about doing it. You know, if you look at education attainment over the last 20 years, 30 years, as we spend more and more, we're now up to about $16,000 per pupil on average in the United States, many places more than $20,000 per pupil. At the same time, our test scores have gone down and down. We blamed COVID for a while, but the latest scores released just a couple of weeks ago showed further loss. But what's happened? The problem is we've spent money on everything but education. Students and teachers have gone up about 8% over the last 20 years, but administrators have gone up 85%. I think a lot of that is driven by the Department of Education and the endless mandates and regulation that have plagued American education for far too long.
Here's what I don't get. Look, I'm a small business owner, and I'm always looking to make sure that we're doing things that are working. When you look at the education system around this country, the numbers of kids that can't even read at a third grade level, Congressman, what are they doing with all of this money?
Well, that's right. That's right. Well, I think two things. Yes, only about 30% of children can read, are proficient at reading and math at the fourth grade and at the eighth grade levels. I'll tell you, they're doing two things. One is they're spending it on bureaucratic bloat, administrators up 85%, principals and assistant principals up 35%. But they're also spending it teaching not reading and writing and math, but kids are learning the 16 latest genders, and the white kids are learning they're racist because of the color of their skin. The African-American kids are learning that they'll never get behind, get ahead because of the color of their skin. Too much kids are being taught what to think, not how to think. They're being indoctrinated, not educated. That's got to stop. And I am so pleased that we have an administration, President Trump and Linda McMahon, committed to changing it, making education great again.
You know, Congressman, they say President Trump says we're going to find that hundreds of billions of dollars have just been squandered over there at the Department of Education. What practically would happen if we don't have a Department of Education? Where would that money go to?
Well, yeah, of course, there are some good things the Department of Education does, like, mandate IEPs for kids who need special assistance with learning. That could all be devolved to the states. It could be block granted to the states, or we could spin, the parts of it off that are worthwhile at the federal level. But basically, we need to get rid of the Department of Education. We need to get rid of the massive, mountains of regulations, the armies of bureaucrats who do nothing but get in the way of true education. Look, before 1978, we didn't have a Department of Education, and kids' proficiency in reading and math and writing was better back then than it is today.